Hey there folks, and welcome to the next GT7 showcase. In this update of 1.62, we have 4 new cars. Starting with the lowest car out of the bunch. The Filla 1 2026. So here's some things you could do to the Filla 1 2026, or Filla 1 in other words, which is not much because it's a electric car. You know what that means? As an electric car, you get to do jack nothing because they never made electronic upgrades for when it comes to EVs and stuff. Because it feels like EVs should have just a whole different interface when it comes to this. So I hope for that, or for an overhaul in the future. But otherwise, it's just crap. It's really a crap EV at the end of the day, and you're probably wondering why there's a big old F on that. Yeah, it literally is. Just matter of fact, I had discovered something. I was terribly wrong about the whole transmission being 155. It's 146. So, at best, I could probably do with it is by sticking microcars and kind of hope for the best on the whole fuel part, because that's the biggest flaw about EV cars, because they're not good on fuel at all. But here's the things you can do to it and such, which you can change the rims. Thank God, because look how ugly those are. Like, what the heck are those? Honestly. Just put regular rims, for God's sake. Just, like, someone just turn around, make a universal rim, just let every manufacturer use it, for God's sakes. So much better. Anyways, you can add a front lip. You can add a medium size spoiler, or medium high or low custom spoiler. I will say it also has a pop-up spoiler too. That's why there's a big old cut in there, the slant, because it can pop up too. I will say I'm using the regular spoiler though because it's better. Pop-up spoilers don't usually stink. And which here's the new event dedicated for the Filla, which is the 4-wheel drive Challenge 600 of Japanese at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. So the Sony Honda Mobility Filla 1 is a joke. It's a literally sad joke of an electric car at the end of the day. Doesn't have a good battery, so before you ask, and it's terrible at the end of the day, so it's not a very good car at the end of the day. So it can only go up to 146 miles per hour. I don't know what's with these electric cars doing these limited transmissions, but they really need to stop doing that. Because otherwise this car would be so bad. And I will say still won at the end of the day. It's just, you know, if they were more tuned and able to go like 180 something. By the way, yeah, something's going on with that Mazda 3 because that's a brand Christmas sticker on it. Brand Christmas banner on it for some reason. So yeah, I did notice like there's some cars here that have different vinyls and stuff. But the Filla is a joke. Just another F, I would say. Just another F, because yeah, just to say there's gonna be more. Concerning the next one. But the Filla 1, at the end of the day, wouldn't be a bad car if it had a better transmission. For no fuel sprints. If it's no fuel sprints, it'll be fun. If it is a endurance at all, say goodbye to this car, because this car is a joke. As the saying goes. Or no, I wouldn't say the car, the whole EV line is a joke. Or the whole indication of EV. Where's a hydrogen, for God's sake? I'd rather drive that, just to see how different. Like, you know, give us the Toyota Miura, for God's sake. Something interesting on hydrogen. Because I've been hearing this hydrogen tech. I would rather see that than this garbage. So, this is just absolute garbage. A dumpster fire outside. So that's the problem I don't like about EV cars. Is that it's like you know, yeah, it's nice that they're fast and all, but have you ever checked how much fuel they burn? Because they burn really bad when they ever hit at full drop for some reason. I don't know why at the end of the day. I really don't know why. You think it'd be okay, but no. It's just like no matter what, even the biggest, clunkiest battery you could toss to it, it just sucks it up like it's no tomorrow. Where an engine car takes its time about it. It's like blood in the organ. Just that's a weird saying, but yeah, that's what it kind of feels like. But yeah, the Villa is just a joke. It's a joke of a car at the end of the day. Another car to wipe off the map. Because yeah, I wasn't even the prototype is just as bad. Yeah, only hitting like 142, 146 there. Just a sad joke. That's why I had to put that vinyl on it. Because yeah, it just like who asked for this car? Oh, and by the way, apparently it's gonna be like $100,000 apparently because this special sound system in the seats and stuff. Cause yeah, I checked some info, so just curious to hear something of this car at the other day, and it's just like I'm not buying it at all. It's a crap thing. We're gonna buy a regular production car than this godforsaken thing. And don't get me the whole. Oh yeah, by the way, you have to hold the drift button to get it to drift. Just yeah, I had to literally hold that button for just to get to start steering stuff, or start, you know, sliding down here. It took a good minute there. Oh yeah, also by the way, no horn. This is the production mod for God's sakes, and no horn. Like what? And then also, yeah, of course, a steering yoke on top of it. Just like I don't know what to say, to be honest. Give me your Impreza. I would rather drive that than this crap thing. You know, I'll admit the AI is catching up a little bit, but you know, it's just. I think it's just a matter of momentum. That's why that car's going that fast, to be honest. Yeah, if speed were more of a thing, yeah, this car will be left in the dust. But luckily, this course is not all about speed, besides the big old straightaway. That's really the saving grace about this car. If it's a track with a lot of turns, you're fine there. If it's a speed course, though, you're dead in the water. Because at the end of the day, these Imprezas will kick the sorry bunhole out of that car. And so I wasn't even that far from them either. It's the worst part. So now on to the Corvette CX concept, which is, yeah. Also, can I just say, that is the weirdest noise I ever heard coming out of a car for a startup. I am not kidding on that. But the Corvette CX concept is a joke. Like, this is supposed to be the future of the Corvette, and what you thought of is the same way as the Rivera, or Rimac Navara, or Navara, whatever it's called. Or was that 2,000 horsepower hypercar? Is what they kind of thought of at the end of the day. With a pop-out spoiler that functions based on how you steer and stuff. That's the only futuristic thing I can think of is that pop-out spoiler. Everything else about this car is basically just screens of Rimac Navara. Because 500 horsepower in each wheel is the future. And not normal, apparently, even though that's already been done to death. So here's the customization you can do to the Corvette CX concept, which is not much at all. You can't do barely anything. And you got these glorified rims on it, which, as the saying goes for a racing developer, you add some sidewalls to your wheels, for God's sakes. But this looks like donk wheels. I am not good on that map. But onto the event that is apparently dedicated to the Corvette CXs, which is the World Touring Car 900. So yeah, you're probably wondering, oh hey, this doesn't look like regular replay footage. I wonder why is that? Just I'm just gonna say, watch the fuel drop this one lap here, if you please, because this is the biggest problem about every EV in a nutshell. Man, look at it drain. It's just going all the way down, baby. Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna talk anything about this car because I know this car is a big old F to begin with. If anything, I should probably put this lower than the fill, to be honest. That's how much a fucking joke this is. I'm not happy, to be honest, because, you know, they glaze and hype about this car when it's just an utter crap thing to look at or even talk about. And, you know, I kind of wonder if they know it, or do they just think EVs are just a good car at the end of it, because they're really not. And this clearly shows such a fine example. So, I just went through like half the track, and that is like a third of my fuel already, so just going down for away from small finger traps here. It's like, I get it, I am storming through like 200 miles per hour, but let's be honest, is that any other gas car could also pull that shenanigans too. So, like, oh, I don't know, the Valkyrie, that's still like the best hypercar made throughout these years. I kind of don't like it because of the fact it's in production, only like 7 or so of that car. But that is still the best car because it's a hypercar. That's good, really good. That's actually doing what its job intended to be. But yeah, the Corvette CX concept is just a joke. Like, don't bother. Just don't bother trying this because it's just bad. I don't know why they made it, to be honest. Like, I saw concepts in the images and stuff, and this was just bad. So yeah, one lap of Spa Franker Chaps. There you go, people. At the end of the day, because yeah, there's no way I'm doing this whole event and just refueling every time because it's not happening. Not happening at all on that, man. And I'm not gonna limit my speed even further on that either. Like that's just dumb, you know. Like maybe I'm forgetting something, or maybe I'm not, you know, realizing something, but it's just a joke. Now on to the next CX, which is a Corvette CX-R VGT concept. Technically better one. And here's the parts you can do to this car, which is, again, not much because it's a prototype. So at best, you can do a restrictor, a ballast. You can control the ECU, luckily, that's a nice part. You can't control the transmission, of course. I don't know. It's like, they just can't let you have full customization to these cars sometimes. It's really stupid. It's like, there's no reason for this. It's like a vision car at the end of the day. It's like, you know you gotta put a custom training in there, I would think, right? On that matter, but it's just like, you know. I mean, I'm sorry to be so nagful, but it's just, this is how I'm gonna criticize it at the end of the day because they're just, you know, that's not good. It's just not a good thing to do. The whole point of Gran Turismo is have the freedom to do whatever you want with it at the end of the day. And this is showing it's not capable of doing that. But yeah, same case with the customization. You can't do shit with it. On to the World Touring Car 900 once again at Sucker D Spa Frankentraps. So you're probably wondering, oh hey, this is the CXR. Surely it's better, right? Well, I wouldn't be showing you gameplay footage otherwise, wouldn't I? So you're probably wondering, okay, so why is it the gameplay footage? So as you can see, it's a hybrid system. You know, huh? It drives good. It drives like kind of like an old South Formula car, matter of fact. It's really weird. It's really weird on that matter. But, so you're probably wondering, when that hybrid system down there, that little green charging bar there that goes up and down, based on my reverse braking or throttling. When it runs out, how much? I have a quick question for you. How much do you think the hybrid system is and the amount of horsepower this car has? For being 1,257, how much do you think the electric motor takes in regard of that? I'll let you figure that out once we hit 0 here. Otherwise, we're just gonna drive around a bit, and yeah, overall, this is not a bad car to say. It's a pretty cool thing because then it has a pop-up, has a folding spoiler. That's good. That's the good stuff. You want the folding spoilers. You don't want pop-ups. You want folding, because that is more useful for maneuverability reasons and stuff. But yeah, we got a couple contenders here from a bunch of GT2 racers of the GTR Nismos, the RCFs, strangely some GT3s like the McLaren F1 and the GTR GT500 of the 1999 one. I think we got an ASX too here somewhere, but that might be the GT2 version. I'll just say. Yeah, in terms of lap times, it's also not bad either. 208 is not a bad time considering the opponent did a 210, so it's possible it could have beaten these guys, but then you'll realize a big problem about this car at the end of the day that you're about to find out. I also even had to wean the motor amount to 5 so I can get the most efficiency out of it, get most laps out of it. Which, you know, here's the thing, I wouldn't consider this a bad system if you were able to refill it in the pit stop. You can't refill hybrid systems in pit stops, I will say. This is why it's awesome F. Because if I had the ability to turn around and charge the battery in the pit stop, I gladly should be able to do that, but I'm not able to do that. So as a result, you get this situation here in a couple next lap here. So yeah, it's just going along, catching up to all these opponents at the end, but it's doing a really good job overall. It's just, it has one massive flaw, and it's a really sucky flaw, the fact that it has this. Which I'm surprised it even has these to begin with. And so, but you're about to find out here, a couple seconds. I mean, the only other way I could probably technically recharge it is just gas up, breakdown, gas up, breakdown, gas up, breakdown. Just to constantly recharge the battery. Which, to be honest, I kind of don't want to do that. But if it's to get the car to rework, maybe I probably should. I don't know. It's really weird on that matter. Kind of makes me think about the electric car and mind about that. Then again, maybe I should try that just to see if it really works or not. It probably won't though. Probably won't. Alright, so we basically just we just ran out of the hybrid battery. So how fast do you think it's gonna go now since without that hybrid battery? And thus we got a struggle right at 144 miles per hour. So if you guessed about 10% is the engine of the car, congrats, you win. If you thought it was more than that, you're an idiot. Sadly. Because this car must only have like 10% the engine at the end of the day. That engine is really just for freaking show, and that's terrible, man. That's so bad. Like, look, I can't even now. Yeah, I can't outrun these guys at least. Because it would be nice if it was fast enough to at least beat these guys, because these guys go about like 170, 180. If the engine was capable of doing that, I would do that over the glorified hybrid system it has, because it's just like, why? Why is it like this? But yeah, otherwise to say, yeah, the CXR flops, and the worst part is this is the Vision car. So you would think you were able to do Vision events with this. No, you can't. No, instead I'm just gonna turn around, just drive the GTR Nismo for the rest of the way, because it's just a much better car. And considering this is the newer GT2 one, this has the power capability to be as fast as a Grade 1 parent car. The only difference is it doesn't have as much fuel. But it is as fast. That's how good GT500 has gotten. And that's just the 2016 model. I'm curious about the recent years. So yeah. So that basically ends the story of the Corvette CX. I hope you liked seeing that because, yeah, to me, that car is a big old flame pile dumpster fire to me. Thank God I didn't bother trying to get the silver medal on that stupid time trial that I kept for it because it's just garbage. This is a garbage car. I don't like it. Because I'm sorry, if it can't do endurance, what's the point of it? Which the worst part is, in the description of the CXR, it mentions endurance racing. How do you do endurance racing when the freaking motor is like 10% motor and like 90% hybrid system? And what endurance racing? Because it should at least beat these guys, I would think, with the high performance given, you know? No, instead it's a big old freaking joke. I don't know what to say to it at the end of the day. It's like, what the hell is this? So. It's a big old joke at the end of it. Yeah, just showing all the dashboards of the cars, because I might have went bad on the viewing about this. But yeah, overall this event's not that bad, but it's also pretty long. It's a very long event, too. For Spa-Francorchamps. Considering this is just a halfway point, it's already 10 minutes in, so 300,000 for 20 minutes is so not worth it. You could do better things than this event here. I'll say that much. I mean, maybe it might be at least tad better or tad not. I don't know. It's just very weird. It's just kind of a burst event at the end of the day. Yeah, that's me pitting in at this point because yeah, this is when they pit and stuff. But yeah, that's the best part about the CXR. It was actually doing pretty good on the film live too. But because of its crappy hybrid system, it's a joke. It's sadly a joke. Like, the only thing I can think of is do the regeneration, just, you know, throttle, let go, throttle, let go, throttle, let go. But that's just bad during a race. Why would you do that? No, if anything, they should have gave it the option to refuel it so I could just turn around and refuel it. But no, they don't do that. Because Gran Turismo is just sort of against EVs, even though they're allowing EVs. Which I don't understand, because there's no lean system to it. You know, and I know, like, Teslas have a lean option to it to survive a lot longer. Not use as much power, you know. You can't do that. It doesn't allow you to do that when you use those electric cars at the end of it. And then the other worst part is, you want to make races and everything else too that ties to them. You can't have fun with them either. They are just built to be not fun. And it sickens me. Because, like I said, I don't really, you know, fully shit on EV cars, but Gran Turismo has shown and proved the reason to shit on them is the bad part. And I don't want to say that, you know? I kind of hope there's another way to say around that. But I don't think there is. So it's just a very depressed thing when it comes to EV cars. They're just not made in mind for, you know, the core concept of Gran Turismo, which is endurance racing. Because that's usually the end game when it comes to Gran Turismo, endurance racing. You know, having fun and stuff. Such. Although I will admit, even Gran Turismo is also lacking because they're more of a trial than an actual race sometimes. Considering, like, you have these examples, but it would be kind of cool if they bring back a tournament that kind of is the equivalent of this, but 5 more tracks, you know? Like, to show that endurance for realsies. But no, they just haven't yet. It's just very weird in regards. You would think they would have endurance to a tournament. No, they have At best, it's just no fuel and no tire deterioration tournaments. That's it. They haven't done any more tournaments since then, which sucks on that matter. It's like they could have turned around and took all those Japan GT500 ones they did, just made that into a tournament. They didn't. And I don't know if they're going to. I don't know. I just hope like the next set of cars they add, it'd be none of those. Which the worst part, I know there's another EV coming because I saw it because there's an Opel Corsa Vision Gran Turismo car in the future, and that might be electric. There's the Tesla Model 3 Pikes Peak, that's electric. So it kind of makes you wonder, like, are they going to add good cars afterwards? Which, at the end of this darkened tunnel, there is a shining beacon, I will say. And once we get this race done, I will show you the shining beacon, because there is one savior, and everyone knows what savior it was. That is, because, and matter of fact, Gran Turismo 7 did it perfectly for this car. Because there's one car that stands above the rest of these crap things, luckily. Which I'm shocked. I'm just utterly shocked about this one. Because, I mean, whenever we saw this car, when it came to Gran Turismo 6 and stuff, it was, you know, underneath a rock at the end of the day. It's like, you wouldn't think this car would be good, but it turns out it's incredible. So, but yeah, I do want to say a lot of things about this event, but there's really kind of not much to at the end of the day. It's just, you know, you just get there and be done at the end of the day. Well, it basically takes your 20 minutes of your life, basically. Because it is a very basic event, and the pay grade is just not worth it. I'll just say that much. And again, I don't understand this, but why are there GT3s in this freaking race again? There's like no reason for them to be here. They're not good for this event. That's all I'm gonna say that. They're not good enough. Now the GT2s, like the 2008 GT500s, they're fine. But something like the Pennzoil Skyline GTR, no, that is bad. That's bad to the bone. So then you got your GT1s and stuff like that. Actually, I gotta realize that. I think they did. Yeah, they did technically degrade it. GT1s coming to realize, because yeah, we had the GT1 Aston Martin. I gotta remind myself that's in GT3 grade, while the something older like the McLaren GT1 there, that's in GT2 grade. Interesting. I didn't realize that. So that's what basically what happened. Okay. Now I gotta get it. Because yeah, GT1 eventually became GT3 at the end of it. And that's how they did it, because for one thing, cars were too expensive for GT1s, because GT1s were like that McLaren, and that McLaren was $1 million at the time. Not $20 million, because I still don't understand how the heck a McLaren F1 skyrocketed in the auction price. Like, holy crap. You know? Like, I think even that BMW one is a $20 million, but that makes sense because that's, no, it doesn't make sense, but it's like a sort of does or don't, because it is a race car, it's technically one of a kind, but it also doesn't make sense because, you know, it shouldn't be that much driving a car at the end of it. Yeah, so just driving the GTR in this mode to victory at the end of the day, and yeah, like I said, those two Corvettes definitely a big old F at the end of the day. They're just a big old disgrace. Another stain on the mark of Gran Turismo, eh? Where Fanatic can just scream at Gran Turismo and say, hey, give us old cars again, not this crap stain. Because yeah, no matter what, when I look in those Gran Turismo videos and stuff, I will always see one guy that will bitch that, oh, we need more tracks and cars and shit. Oh, you'll get cars, not the ones you want. And tracks? Depends. Yeah, I hate to say this. I think they kind of just replaced Special Stage Route with Tokyo Expressway, which I don't want to, you know, be like that. But you know, I just always kind of, it always kind of felt like that, though. That's the worst part. Because I'm not gonna say Tokyo Expressway replaces Special Stage. I just felt like that's what they kind of did, though. Because Tokyo Expressway to me is completely different because it's more of a like a Tokyo Stream Racer kind of track. It's like, you know, your long go racing. So where Special Stage Route was just a special race course at night and such. Had that cool straightaway, had the, you know, the tunnel turn, and just it's beautiful. Although I'm like the entrance with Fast Case where it's just a pitch black. I recall, because I recall the lighting was not. That might be another reason why they took that out, because the lighting was terrible. Yeah, I don't blame it. And now to the final lap, finally, for this thing, or for this race in general. But yeah, overall, this race, not bad. It's just, I would just recommend it for weekly's case, not really for grind purposes, because it's only 300 grand. They really are stepping on the whole anti-grinding, I see. Which is weird because I thought they were going up in money on some of these tracks, but then they turn around like, for this case, let's not do that. It's like they're encourage you to not grind on these ones, but you can grind on the other ones though. Which is boring and not selective at all. Come on, give us some freedom for God's sakes. You know? I really hate this, because this just reminds me of what era we live in recently, because of, you know, UK's stupid Safety Act, and, you know, the US trying to buy in on that too, through business means, because this is why you don't allow business to win over things, because if you do, this is what happens. Because as a business, they don't care. They just want to find ways to get money no matter what. They want to squeeze as much as they can get out of you. They have no personality. They have no motives. They only think of the most evil, devious things, the most non-effortless as possible, and will proceed to bleed you. That's what a business is at the end of the day. And the funny part, the way I said proceed to bleed, that's just kind of what a hospital nurse typically does. She just tests your blood several freaking times. Believe me, I know that because of gallbladder. Of a little bit ago. Or a couple months ago. So now onto a much better car, and the star of the show, that is the Renault Aventine 3.0 V6 24 volt 2002.
Boy!
So this is what you can do to Renault Aventine. Hey, you see this electric cars and concept cars? This is what you should be doing. To be honest, because look at this. Look at all the amazing stuff you can do to this car. And stuff. And the best part is that I did a 155 mile/hour build for this, and it's at 265. If you want to know the max amount of horsepower this can hit, 500 plus as an FF. That's freaking amazing. And also, if you do full weight reduction, it's still out to 600 pounds. I will say I'm not doing that because I'm doing the People's car, because the event dedicated for it doesn't really need that. But I will say I did for other build stuff. And you'll be seeing like technically like one of them in a way, but that because this car also has an engine swap already and stuff. I will show the engine swap later on here. But for now, we will do the showcase the customization you can do to it, which yeah, I just kept with the red rims and stuff. But the cool part is you can add a Pikes Peak or Time Attack lip side skirts and rear skirts to it. Also add a big old wing to it. So make it go as crazy as it F, I will say. So, holy crap. That's an effort. My god. It's beautiful. It's like what every other car should do. Just making an old man cry at the end of the day. But yeah, you got a roll cage. Hopefully I showed everything. I kind of showed like most of it, but not all of it. Headlights. Yeah, because I didn't brush on the license plate. Look, the license plate is kind of fine where it's at, to be honest. There's like other license plates you do and stuff. So here's the final event to showcase for this one, which is the European Sunday Cup 400 at Sucker D Sonic Fruits B Reverse. Which, yeah, the Reno Aventime, the savior. This is literally the savior of this whole update in general, because without this car, I would have gave this update a big old steaming pile of F. Although I will admit, there was also some really good engine swaps too, considering this one got a really good one too. Because yeah, they surprisingly gave this an engine swap on top of it, and it's a really good one, because they must have just felt bad for us not able to get the Reno S-Space F1, so instead we got the alternative, which is the failure minivan that is the Aventime. Because yeah, the Aventime is a failure, fun fact, because it's not just a minivan, it's a coupe minivan. So that's why the doors look like that, so, because it's supposed to be in coupe design, so they gave it a club look to it, which is by design technically not good, but when you're inside the cabin stuff, it looks very stellar. Like you can look up, see the sunroof, you can look to your left and right. It's pretty amazing, that part. And then not only that, it's a long style FF, so it technically doesn't deal with torque steering that bad, I would say. So it's pretty good on that department. Yeah, look at that sunroof. Good God, it's a massive sunroof and stuff. But yeah, it's a pretty amazing car at the end though and such. And heck, you put 500 horsepower down it, and it still doesn't, have a terrible torque steering. It's pretty good. It's better than a Civic, for the most part. That's crazy to say that. And when I say Civic, I mean even the newest Civic has torque steering problems. This does not have torque steering problems, at much. If it does, just lower this up the suspension a little bit, and problem solved. You may have to lower the torque, LSD, and the other thing, such for that matter. But yeah, once you just figure out the fundamentals of tuning the FF, you basically got a car here that does not suffer a problem of torque steering whatsoever, and that's a great sign for a car that you want. And then not only that, I do think the long body does help for FFs in general, because it gives more a grab to the car at the end of it, I'll say. Or it causes the car having to pull more, to say, and that might be helpful for against the acceleration stutter that a hatchback technically deals with most of the cases once it hit that high power margin. But with this one, if you hit high power with this, you get a really good minivan at the end of the day. And this minivan is also very fuel efficient. You don't deal with like really bad effects like the Toyota Alphard deals with. Because the Toyota Alphard, much as I like that minivan, it suffers a lot of problems. I'll say that much. It's not a really good minivan. But this one, on the other hand, much better. I mean, is it because of the fact it's a coupe design? Yeah, it's because of the fact it's a coupe design. But otherwise, it's a phenomenal little machine for what it does. It is such a good advertising. Yes, you are. Very good. It is the savior, I will say, of this update at the end of it. It is the A. It is a big old A in my case. This car is so damn good. After testing like 3 ways on it, I did the People's Car version, which is the one you see now. Besides the the goofy spoiler and stuff. I gotta add that anyways, because you might as well add the spoiler stuff. I tried a 200 mile per hour layout on it, and that's where it dropped like 460 horsepower on that one, and it still does the job really good. And then there's the engine swap. The engine swap is a race car motor, so you can have very high fuel mileage with that one. And you're probably wondering what kind of motor is in it. Well, for one thing, I would have said Mercedes, but then I realized it was something else entirely for motor. So we'll be seeing here in the near end here. Right now, we'll just enjoy the cruise as we drive this minivan to victory. The Avatar is such a good minivan. It's so good. For an FF, this is a very fun FF to drive at the end of the day. It's that amazing. And, you know, like I said, I seen this car in like 5 or 6, and I thought it was just, you know, a fluke at the end of the day. I thought it was just, you know, a regular minivan. I thought poorly. I should have never misjudged this car ever, because this Avatar is so good. It's such a good minivan. And such. Then it's being that crap saying behind us, which is the Peugeot or yeah, Avatar, kick his ass. Yeah, that's the thing that's trying to replace you at the end of the day. Because I'm sorry, minivans for life. Minivans are just so much better. Because they are just a massive improvement upon station wagons, and they're technically just better than, you know. Oh yeah, I wanted to show the end shot here, because yeah, I realized that, oh wait, yeah, I didn't show myself at the end. Hang on a second. Yeah, okay, there we go. Woo, victory, yeah, woo! You just saw that, you just saw how, you know, the worked out. What you think of that? But yeah, the Avatar, very masterpiece. It is a masterpiece. Alright, so now talk about the engine swaps. But yeah, starting from lowest to high, we have the Mustang GT 2015 having the ability to now use the Windsor 351 Maverick motor, which is, gosh, shocks me this did not have this earlier, to be honest. So yeah, you can now add the Maverick motor if you want to suck your fuel like no tomorrow. The G70 is also the other one too. You can have the Windsor Maverick motor as well. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure why, but in case you want to all drive Maverick, there you go. So now the REM Mamiya got a new one, but I don't know which it was. But here's the listing in case. So you got the LS7 Rampage and the Mazda 787B 4-rotor motor. So in case you want a grade 1 motor in that sucker, you can. Although I have problems with them, but you know. The BRZ STS Sport has the Corvette C7 and the 911 motor and such. Just like the GR86 and like the newer BRZs have too. The Silvia Case Aero 1996, the S14 to be exact, can get the C7 in a Skyline R34 motor on top of it. I think that's just the regular R34, so it's not the Z-Tone, in case you're wondering. I'm about to say that'd be like $1 million. Now, the Civic Type R, specifically the FK8, can have the ASX Grade 2 motor, which is from the 2016 GT Concept SX. So, in case you're wondering, so that's a high fuel mileage one. Very good motor overall. Also, the crazy part has the same cubic centimeter size as the Civic motor. The Golf 7 can have the Golf GTI VGT Grade 3 motor. So it can have a bit of higher fuel mileage one for that one, or better fuel mileage for that one. And second case with what I think is the best one of the three, which is the Civic Type R FLS, having that ASX motor as well on top of it. Because yeah, this is the best one I was thinking when it came to the engine swaps. And then the second best is, of course, the Avatar, because I'm a bit of a sucker of this car at the end of the day. Having the GTI VGT Grade 3 on top of it. which it gives it a lot more acceleration and does kind of start giving you torque steering, but not as bad as you might think. And now the best one is the M159 AMG GT3 motor for the A45 AMG hatchback 2013. That is a very good motor and allows it to do GT3 racing. But I also have film to showcase the 3 cars I got for best, starting with the Civic Type R with the HRC vinyl that I just turned around and just I basically saved the one vinyl and applied it to this one. So yeah, this is not the same one that I got from the contest. This is exactly a one Civic I bought, and I just turned around and just copy and paste because you could do that at the end of it, which looks very nice at the end of it. So yeah, this is with the Grade 2 NSX, and as you can see, there's a lot of laps you can do with this car at the end of it. It's only like 2/3 of fuel tank, and that's just 5 laps. Good God, that's really good. If there's any big problem, as you can see here, well, one problem is the stupid, freaking annoying sound cabin going on here because I'm in too much max revs for the base RPM what this car is assigned to. So as a result, you get this huge error of problem where it just wee. Basically. Yeah, overall, the FL5 having the NSX Grade 2 motors, not bad overall. It's just, I would recommend just keep it in a Grade 4 level because that, if you up it even more, it's going to deal with acceleration stutter for sure. It's already dealing with some already. That's just this common nature of Civics in a nutshell anymore. Especially with 325 horsepower initially, and it's already doing torque steering. This is so it's not really that good. Yep, so that basically ends that one lap showing that. Yeah, overall not bad. Not bad at all. Now on to the advent time with the I guess goddamn, I was almost about to say Mercedes GT3. No, it's the Golf GT3. This is not bad, but it's not like, I don't know. It's like on one end, yeah, you definitely get better fuel mileage, but on another end, you deal with torque steering and acceleration stutter, and this is just at Grade 4. I will note you can try to do Grade 3, but good luck on that with the acceleration stutter and the torque steering. It just says that yeah, FFs just have a point, and this is the point they can get to. So that's the unfortunate part. Unless they have less torque problem, then it won't be much of a problem. But the problem is, it's just this is how it is. It does make me wonder, like, if you stick a bike motor in an FF, is that technically better or would that be worse? Because bike motors don't have a lot of torque, so it always makes me wonder about that. In that matter. So I need to find an example for that case. I don't think I haven't seen an example of that such. I can see the M1 getting that bike motor, but it's if they want to put it in. But yeah, overall the advertising not so bad for this case. If anything, the tires burn a lot, so you have to lower the grip in the front a bit. The camber grip, I should say. Yeah, if you lower the camber, you get less tire burn. A little bit, not a whole lot. The difference is just enough to maybe give you an extra lap or two. For this case, it's good. I mean, it's not like the Swift Grade 4 doesn't suffer, you know, acceleration stutter either, so I'm not surprised this has problems with that too. For that occasion. So, but that's basically it for the Aventine as it passes a couple cars and stuff. Pretty fast times too, 211.47. That's pretty quick in regards. And bam, 12.113. Not bad. And then now onto the best one, which is what I think is the A45 AMG, which pretty good as a 230 mile/hour setup build. Because yeah, I forgot to mention the builds. Those two, the Aventine and the Civic, were 200 mile/hour builds. This was 230 because this can go that far. say. Yeah, I do plan to do a 230 mile per hour build. I'm just not sure how to execute it properly for now. Because I am trying to figure out like what's the best to do for these cars at the end of the day. And you know, I gotta do the hard testing, which is Suzuka circuit, because Suzuka circuit just burns your tires like no freaking tomorrow. For cars like these production cars burn their tires like no tomorrow. Which grade 3s, they kind of just deal with it at hand. Which I didn't realize in this event. I did not realize how much of a freaking threat this Supra is, because I will say I'm in low power points. I'm like 710 or so, so it's not very high up there in the grade 3 margin, but it can at least do the event. It's just you have one big opponent you need to deal with. I didn't realize how much of a threat that one is, which is the GR Supra, because for some reason that one is the super threat. For some reason, I don't know what's going on there, but I don't remember that Supra being much of a threat. Because let's say he's irked me one case so far, but luckily I did got payback. I got payback for that. Maybe waste some time return, but oh well, I got payback for it. Yeah, the A45 AMG is, I think, the best engine swap, and probably the utter savior of this update at the end of the day. This is what kind of helps the update when there's good engine swaps like this, because I would love to see more race car motors any day. Those are more special than just seeing a basic car motor into another basic car. Yeah, that basically wraps up for this showcase, people. I'll see y'all next time. You guys take care, and oh my god, that crash. Until then, you guys take care and enjoy the rest of this punishment to this crap hole. Well, I win now. Here's a replay, just in case, see what exactly happened. Until then, people, Jeff.